Need to take the hat off or no?
No, that looks good.
Okay, thank you.
Kind of looks like common.
What? wait. What up, y'all? Welcome back to another Stereo Vision video.
What is good? Happy end of 2024.
You know what I'm saying? We're back with our standard year-end list, man.
Yep.
I'm excited. This is my favorite time of the year. I think that we've gotten a lot of great music this year. And we're going to start with albums, because I think that the bodies of work, I think, are probably the most important things that we want to highlight this year. People really took their time with these. I think that we got some special projects across a lot of different genres.
Yeah. It's always so fun to like review a year.
Yeah.
Because you remember that every year we get heat. You know what I mean? Like every year we do get really special music. So to go back and remind yourself that it was a super strong year and there's all these really awesome projects that I've forgotten about. You know what I mean? Even though they've been out this year. Like, I don't know. I love prepping for this list every year.
I took a different approach.
What'd you do?
I didn't pander as much this year.
Good. You stayed true to yourself?
I think I stayed true to myself.
So
I
you
think
put
guys
music
will be
on the
happy.
list that you actually listen to.
I always do that.
But
I think that I really just thought the stuff that I loved this year is what I wanted to really highlight.
So there's no
really push.
No Cure album on the list.
No
Charlie XCX.
No. Charlie's high, Sabrina's high.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big
Billy.
Chapel. No, but shout out to all them, honestly. I think that maybe that is a disclaimer, bro. Because I think that those
should
are
be a
projects
disclaimer.
that are excellent. And I think those projects deserve the shine and all the praise. And I get that everyone listening to them. But I think that personally, just what us three are slapping on the day-to-day, that's probably not it. But those albums deserve to be in these conversations, deserve to be acknowledged in year-end list. But with us three individually, I think we're just going to highlight the stuff that we love.
Okay, so we have 3 honorable mentions, 3 albums that I kind of wanted to put on my list, but I didn't quite have room for. My first honorable mention is Born in the Wild by Thames.
Yeah.
This was a great project. The highs on this were like some of the highest of the years for me. There's a couple songs on here that I really thought about putting on my, best songs of the year list. Mm-hmm. Thames is incredible, one of the best vocalists that we have in the game. So an offering from her was really incredible. I think it lived up to expectations. My second honorable mention is Saheem by Saw Baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to get this in my top 10. This was maybe the most fun release of the year that really breathed a lot of new life into like a genre that I think is really special to all of us, but maybe was a little bit lacking this year. Mm-hmm. Specifically that super melodic, fun hip hop akin to like a Thug or a Gunna. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to hear Saw Baby do it with kind of a new twist on it, and to see him, somebody that we've followed for a while, get a moment, that was great. And then my third honorable mention is The Year I Turned 21 by Ira Star. Really awesome album. And we talked a lot about Thames versus Ira throughout the course of the year. And at the end of the year, Ira actually pulled out ahead for me after being on the side of Thames all year. I was listening to that back, and she had a chip on her shoulder this entire album. You know what I mean? Like, she's really talking the whole time. And there's a lot of vibes on here too. I love Commas. I love Rhythm and Blues. The Ashake song, the intro. There's a bunch of great shit on here. So those are 3 that I would have loved to have on my list, but didn't quite have room for.
My 3 honorable mentions, I guess to start off, I'm going to say Lungu Boy by Ashake It was so difficult for me to not put this album on there because, like you said, there's so many songs individually I love off this. I just don't think that I loved everything that I put on this list. Yeah. So I don't even want to say that like there was a reason why I didn't put it on there. It's just didn't make the cut. But great songs, great album as a whole, great messaging. I think that the flip at the end that he did of Real Love by Mary J was one of the most fun moments I had listening to music all year. My next honorable mention is Bird's Eye by Raven Lenae.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it.
Special R&B album. I think that Raven's been kind of building up until this point, and now she gets an album produced by Dahi. That's so rare for someone at her level, but she lives up to the moment and exceeds. Great features. Gambino bodies it. Ty Dolla $ign kills that shit. I mean, 1+1, I have to say. Like, that song was another song that was also maybe going to make the cut for songs, but I don't think it did. Yeah. Love that too. And then my last honorable mention is Hardstone Psycho by Don Toliver.
Okay.
Really special album to me because I always liked Don Toliver. He's never going to drop a project and I don't get a couple songs off that. And I think that this was a really good body of work. We talked about how the different like album ordering sequencing thing was kind of cool. Like, Don is in a space where I think he is looking to still take that next step. And I think that he got a couple songs on this, man. Some might make it on my list. So I'm excited.
The honorable mentions category is kind of hard because like, I'm not saying I don't like these albums, but I just feel like they just didn't really make the cut. I think my album specifically probably didn't make it just because they didn't feel like whole albums, whole cohesive bodies of projects. But here we go. We'll go with my honorable mentions.
Here we go. Here's 3 albums that I hated.
You know, I feel like he's gonna shit on these albums.
Damn, bro. Why you got to do that, bro?
No, my bad.
Before my intro, man.
I mean that.
I'm just trying to warm my people up. You know what I'm saying? My little audience that I've collected here. All right. So for my first album for honorable mentions, I'm gonna go with "We Still Don't Trust You." Yeah, I don't know. It was difficult to put this on honorable mentions because I do love this project, but I do feel like it is more mixtape vibes and not really a cohesive body of work. Obviously, like cuts like This Sunday, you know, are super dope, especially like just like in the context of Future even writing for an artist like Drake. You know what I mean? Like it just shows his versatility. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day with this project wasn't super cohesive and it was just like kind of long. It kind of dragged a little bit. It's good to put on shuffle in the car. It's got a lot of great cuts, but for me, just couldn't really make that top tier. Another album that I feel very hurt to put on the honorable mentions list is P4 by Party Next Door.
Yeah. I'm glad you said something about
this album is honestly, in my opinion, Party Next Door's best project since P1. And it's just difficult because I didn't even really listen to it until maybe last month because of that album cover.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Backshots album.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how much album art can really affect the listening experience. Like I literally didn't feel comfortable. You know, I post songs on my story all the time. I couldn't post it on my story. I couldn't really share it with friends. I didn't even feel comfortable like pressing play on it. I was like, I don't want this on my phone.
Yeah.
But when I did listen, I was like, wow. Obviously, the songs that came out before, Resentment, Her Old Friends, like those were great cuts. But Make It to the Morning, I was listening to I was listening to the song with Miles the other day.
Bro.
I was like, bro, song is incredible, bro.
No. I literally had to go back and listen to it because I'm like, yo, this is sounding different. Because I think in the heat of the moment when all this shit was happening with the ass album cover, it like kind of threw off the sound even a little bit because we all had cuts like For Certain off that even like, but that shit was sounding different when you played it. That shit was fire.
No, it's a great song. So that's why it pains me to kind of put Party Next Door down there. But like, hey man, needs a better album cover next time. I'm not going to tell you. Better creative direction all around.
Definitely.
And then for my last pick, this one kind of hurts too, but I'm going to put Timeless by Kaytranada in there. Kaytranada has had better projects.
Yeah.
And this project, while it was fun, just didn't have many standout singles from it, many standout songs that I felt were great. I think Witchy is the best one. And it's by far a song that surpasses every other single on the project. I mean, it's kind of crazy, even with features from like, I don't know, I guess like Pink Panthers is like one of the other only like notable ones on there.
I mean, Rochelle Jordan is on there. Who else? Channel Trace. It has some good features, but I just think that there weren't the high highs like you said. Witchy is definitely a standout, but I needed a couple more of those.
Even so, like Don Toliver and Mariah the Scientist are on there too. Yeah. And like even the Don Toliver song, even though I appreciated the different direction, maybe kind of like taking a risk with it, it didn't move me.
Yeah,
I felt like the Mariah the Scientist song was good, but it just felt like.
But it's still a good project. Again, this is honorable mentions. These albums I used to fuck with.
Oh yeah, but they just didn't make that top tier, and I really wanted them to. You know, these are albums that should.
Yes.
So that's how I feel about this category.
All right. Well, I'm gonna kick it off. At number 10, I have Mutt by Leon Thomas. Incredible album. I think he achieved something new in R&B. You know what I mean? He actually like broke through to something that somebody hasn't really touched before, in my opinion. New sound, new vibes for somebody that is such an established producer and songwriter. To have his moment with his music, I think was really cool. And just like talk about pain music. Yeah. Talk about like someone has you like seriously 100% of the way fucked up. Like this is like a concept album about the end of a relationship. You know what I mean? And going through stages of a breakup. Because obviously you get the moment where you know, you're kind of like excited by the possibilities of doing something new, like Vibes Don't Lie, Safe Place, but then you go, you know, calling back, answer your phone. You know what I mean? Extremely emotional music. With a really great story, and his voice doesn't really sound like anyone else's. Just really a great project all the way through.
At number 10, I also have Mutt by Leon Thomas.
Hey,
so I just wanted to say that so we can now discuss.
Twin.
For me, I really think that he was due for an album like this. He's always been really, really talented from a songwriting standpoint, obviously from a production standpoint. And I think that on this, he was able to really get the replayability in.
Yeah.
And more than that, too, it was emotion and personality. Because we all know Andre from Victorious. It was crazy that kind of attached to Sa Baby, he was able to kind of capitalize on that moment because a lot of the memes were of him.
Yeah.
But he is like that kind of, that's all we know him for, really.
Yeah.
And he's kind of been this amazing producer, songwriter in the background for all these years. And this was a moment where he stepped forward and really embraced the moment. I think that this is like what's going to launch him into a new stratosphere. Because he has to now be in those types of conversations. He's gonna get Grammy consideration for this for sure.
As he should.
Really think so.
All R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you said, the lead single is incredible.
Yeah.
But Vibes Don't Lie is insane. The Ty Dolla $ign feature on here is really good. Far-Fetched.
So
What's the
good.
Baby Rose song?
I used to.
Yeah, like there's just cuts all over this. One of the best R&B projects of the year,
And
easily.
I hate to say it. I hate to say this, but this album has incredible aura, incredible vibes from the cover, bro. The cover to
I love the cover art. I love the cover
The
art.
entire like energy of it is like super fucking dope.
And I think that is just dope. Like, I'm not a dog, I'm a mutt. That's
It's
hilarious.
so
That's hilarious,
dope.
just in the context of relationships.
And it feels a little mysterious. I don't know. It low key like scratches like a Frank Ocean itch, like a little bit. A little bit.
I've heard some people say that.
A little bit.
I've heard some people
You
say
know?
that.
Yeah.
Let it be what it be.
Yeah.
For my number 10 pick, I'm going with The Year I Turned 21 by Ira Star.
Yep.
I mean, this album is incredible. Yeah. I think off jump with songs like Woman Commando, like that song is amazing. The Last Heartbreak song with Giveon was an unexpected like R&B twist on it. And I just think that she like really throughout the whole album keeps a consistent theme of shit talking.
Yeah.
I really, really like the way that she like literally commands the track and like asserts her dominance and her presence in the like Afrobeat space. I don't even know what you would call her lane specifically.
Literally, it's brand new.
It is brand new, but it mixes a lot of Afrobeats and like R&B, and like she's kind of rapping a little bit at some points too,
Definitely.
like slightly. So I really enjoy this project. I'm putting it at number 10 because I do feel like there were some projects that, you know, probably deserve the mention, but I'm extremely excited to see what her 2025 looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think she's gonna have a breakout.
She's going to keep leveling up.
Yeah.
At number 9, I have Across the Tracks by Boldy James and Conductor Williams.
Nice.
Y'all know how much I love this album, how much I played this album this year. To me, this is the best display of lyrics in a hip hop album this year. Like if we're just talking about stringing together bars and like saying the flyest shit possible, nobody's better at that than Boldy James. And to me, you could say this is his best album. Like I'm not mad at throwing this in the mix with all of his other classics as like potentially his best work. I think Conductor, you know, it was a super chill album. You know what I mean? Like the beats were all pretty like laid back. And I think it really allowed Boldy's lyrics to be at the forefront of everything he was doing. And like the third verse on the old Switcheroo is like the best Boldy James verse I've ever heard. Flying Trapeze Act is crazy. Saint Juliana, like beautiful, sparkly Conductor beat with like Boldy's menacing raps. Like, I don't know. This album got me through a lot and is just such an easy shit to put on for me and like listen to. I love this project.
At number 9, I have Coyote by Tommy Richmond.
Hey, Tommy mentioned.
This was an album that was actually difficult for me not to rank higher because I think it was the most fun project I ever had, like first listen this year. Mm-hmm. I think that Tommy was able to blend so many different sounds and not attach himself to something that skyrocketed him to fame with $1 Million Baby, but really kind of just continue to build on something that he's been working on for years. And he just finally got the recognition for it in 2024. I think that a moment like Whitney is so cool because I could play it for someone who comes from an old school music background and they're going to get why it's still a slap in 2024. Mm-hmm. But then a song like Green Therapy, he really, really is drawing from that Tyler, the Creator, modern day inspiration and is getting super, super personal and really has great lyrics on it. I think that Jonah Roy, Manny Valley, Kavi, everyone who he works with from a producer standpoint, they're going to be the future of music. I think that they really, really stood out on this album because I think Tommy still has a ways to go, but this was just like kind of him scratching the surface of his potential. But
Yeah.
those producers are some special people, and I love that they're all kind of together and just move around. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this goes. This was a great, great first album in the spotlight for Tommy.
Totally.
For my number 9, and they're gonna be mad at me, but I'm putting Tyler Plus by Tyler. It's the deluxe album by Tyler.
All right.
I was a little unsure when Tyler released self-titled.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like while a good project, it wasn't enough for me. You feel me? We talk about, the year that Ira had and Thames and all that, and really being rooted in the Afrobeat space. Like, where does she fit within that? And I think my perception as she's grown has changed a little bit of her.
Yeah.
I think that I understand what it means to be a pop star now. There's a little bit more mainstream appeal. The music's gonna sound a little bit different. So when she dropped this project and the first song was a crazy just piano cut that just like was unapologetically South African, I was like, nah, this is gonna be fire. The focus track Push to Start is amazing too. And then she's got like more of an R&B cut with Back to You, which I was like not really expecting from her, which is super dope. And then you look at the music within the context of the other album, with the whole album, and you're like, bro, she's got obviously Water on there, but she's got Truth or Dare, Breathe Me. Like she's got hits. She's a certified
She
hit
a slap.
maker.
She a slap.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm putting it up there, because I'm like, bro, like there at least half this album are just like hits, like certified hits already, like RIAA certified hits. You feel me? So I'm like, you can't hate anymore. And I think the versatility is showing itself, and I think she's growing as an artist. But I really like that song Shake Out, which is the very first song, which is an piano cut off rip. I'm like, this, I feel like this is the answer to everything that I was missing.
At number 8, I have Charm by Clairo. This became such a staple for me early in the morning, and it really did something for me that no other album did this year. It's like the coziest project of the year. You know what I'm saying?
It almost was an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, and it's so musical too. Like the piano licks throughout the whole thing, but specifically on like Terrapin, or on the intro Nomad. It's so musical, so like jazzy and fun to listen to, and just really like comforting. You know what I mean? It's like super easy listening, super comforting music that also has a level of sophistication that doesn't always come with that kind of music. And the songwriting is great. Like the whole concept of like nomad, like becoming nomadic, you know what I mean? Because you're not feeling like you're wanted, like that's really cool. Second Nature, I said Terrapin. Juno was obviously like the hit.
That shit, you put me onto it.
Yeah.
And that's what made me actually go run the project.
Yeah.
That is an insane song.
Yeah. Juno's really good. The whole album's really good. Yeah, and it just grew over the course of the year because I saw it getting a lot of hype when it came out, like in the summer. And just every month, it just ticked up for me and ended up at 8. Really great project from Clairo.
My number 8 album of the year is Born in the Wild by Thames.
Nice.
She's probably the easiest to listen to artist right now for me. I could play this album in the morning when I wake up. I could play it when I'm driving late at night. And I think that Thames was just able to, with her voice, be so soothing at all times, especially when I was super stressed, but also deliver a level of depth with lyrics that I think was just so dope to really kind of just sit back and experience. Because like, I don't think you have to be going through some of maybe the heartbreak or relationship like struggles that she's talking about on this project. But I think that you can kind of just admire the way that she articulates what she's going through. And it just really, really is vivid and brings you into the story. But then also cuts like Love Me Jeje, that's anthemic. And it's just feel good music. Forever is my favorite song on the project. And then Free Fall with J. Cole.
God, such a slap.
Such a good song.
Such a slap.
Probably my favorite Cole feature of the year on that.
Definitely mine.
She's in a Ashake cut on this album as well. So of course, from a feature standpoint, it's there. But this is just a very, very emotionally mature album. And again, something that you can play whenever, wherever.
My number 8 is Mutt by Leon Thomas. I think you guys have kind of stated everything I really wanted to say, but I do feel like with this project, he is starting to feel a little bit like an early Frank. And I'm not really sure why. And I think it's because of the genre blending, like R&B sound that he is creating that really is his own.
Yeah.
I also really, just to add, I really liked the cuts with, honestly, the rap artists on it. Like Wale and Freddie Gibbs.
The
Honestly,
Wale song is hard.
And you know, I'm not a huge Freddie Gibbs fan, but that Freddie Gibbs verse had me listening to a little bit of Freddie that day. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even sure what songs I listened to. I just went to Apple Music and just
there you go
shuffled it. But
I heard Leon talking about getting that feature back. And he was like, yeah, Freddie sent that back in like 2 hours. Like Freddie was pissed at someone. He needed that outlet because he's talking to someone on that shit.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of my favorite songs of the album. I think I like the Mutt remix better than the original version.
Me too.
I'm the other way. I like the original.
That Freddie verse, dog. That Freddie verse, you gotta get it.
I think Leon was talking his shit on there. He was chatting.
And then also Lucid Dreams with Masego is an interesting cut, but I love it too. Like, I think... yeah, man, I'm excited to see what he's got in store just because he is so almost quiet with his moves, right? I think we all have probably heard about him moving around Los Angeles and maybe have seen him around, but like you don't really know what he's up to. So for him to just put out a body of work like this super casually, like I think that he's going to have maybe not the biggest 2025, but the next 5 years we should be watching for this guy.
At number 7, I have We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin. Nice. This was, I feel like, the first like monumental moment of the year. You know what I mean? And I think Future just continues to be the LeBron James of hip hop. You know what I mean? Putting up career numbers,
damn near.
Like at an age where a lot of his contemporaries and peers are either declining or altogether retired. You know what I mean? Because this could hold like a candle to any of his best work.
Definitely.
To be honest,
Definitely.
like if you like Future, you love this album because there's everything you could want. There's so many hits. You know what I mean? There's chill moments like Cinderella with Travis Scott. Such a fucking fire song. Metro does his shit across the whole project, and not to mention it spawned the biggest moment of the year, which obviously was like that, and the Kendrick and Drake beef. So it gets extra points for like massive cultural impact. But Future is definitely in the running for MVP of the year, and to me, this was his best body of work out of the 3 that he dropped this year. So yeah, that's We Don't Trust You.
My number 7 album of the year is We Still Don't Trust You by Future.
There you go.
In a year when he gave us 3 projects, I think that this one is the only project that really showed us what he could become in the future. No pun intended. I think that this was him evolving his sound and working in a new space where he still showed that I can make more mature slaps, more mature hits. The intro is insane. Drink and Dance is amazing. Nights Like This is one of my favorite songs of the year.
Yeah.
I love hearing Future in this space where he's almost singing and really, really taking these melodies that have always been legendary to the next level. And I don't think that we can underplay Metro Boomin's value to this enough.
No, especially not that album.
Exactly. I think that Metro has kind of always been a background player in this year for Future and obviously the beef and everything that's been going on. But from a musical standpoint, Metro came to play and has delivered time and time again on every single project that he's worked on, but especially this one. I think that he was probably super instrumental in pushing the sound forward.
My number 7 is Where I've Been Isn't Where I'm Going by Shabuzi.
Okay.
There you go.
I really love this project. I think like just from a listening perspective, it is like one of the most honest albums I've heard this year. But I also just am really admiring Shabuzi right now in terms of like, I don't think there's an artist that's had a bigger year in terms of like somebody that was literally nobody, like no recognition at all, to being on the Beyonce album and then catapulting himself to success with a bar song Tipsy.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of songs on this project that I like love and listen to regularly. I think Highway is amazing. The song with Noah Cyrus, My Fault. And just like, I don't know, I really like the refreshing like blend of like this new age country music with also like rap music too. Cause you look at the song with Big X The Plug as well. Like, I feel like Shabuzi's had an incredible 2024. I'm interested to see what he does in 2025. But in terms of just like an album that I'll just like listen to and put on shuffle, like this is one of my favorite projects of the year.
All right, at number 6, I have Wylod by Anderson .Paak and Knowledge, also known as No Worries. I mean, I think frequently like great pain leads to great music. Definitely. And that's 100% the case with Anderson .Paak throughout his career. And it was really embodied in this album, Wylod. He really aired out some really difficult times and struggles, and you can hear it. The emotion is like palpable and it's all so real. Well, he maintained like some of the fun and like sexy cuts that he has been doing in years past, you know what I mean, as like a hit maker. But yeah, all in all, I think this was probably the most vulnerable and honest he's been on a project since 2016 when he had Malibu and Yes Lod. So many songs on here. From Here, I think, was an early standout, one of the singles, and just one of my favorite songs of the year. But then you get album cuts on the back end, like Walk On By with Earl Sweatshirt, She Used, Fall Through. There's just endless amounts of songs. This album you can just put on loop, play over and over again. And Anderson is just truly one of the best in the game and continues to exemplify that at every turn.
At number 6, I have Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator.
All right.
I think that this album from Tyler was him. He's mastered a sound.
Yeah.
And we already know that with Tyler, you're going to get 10 out of 10 production. He's in the mainstream now, 3 weeks at number 1 from Chromacopia. It's win after win after win for Tyler. And he got more personal than he's ever gotten on this project. And that's why I really liked it. I think that going back and hearing a song like Judge Judy, he's not making that song when he's talking about that crazy shit when he was like 16 to like 18 years old. You know, this is really looking at him as a 30-year-old man and dealing with those problems that he's dealing with. And I think more than anything, it's a timestamp of 2024. This is where I'm at. And this is the end of an era to me. He broke a lot of rules on this. He took a lot of risks on this that I don't think he's really ever taken from at least a sequencing and like album setup standpoint. You know, there wasn't the 2 years, there wasn't the split track that's like 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
Everything felt like those old traditions kind of got broken. And I think that for Tyler, that's something that's really important.
Yeah.
Because now he's a vet in the game. He's entering that old head status. People are kind of looking at him as the OG. And now what are you going to do with that? How are you going to push the sound forward? How are you going to influence the next generation that you kind of are seeing babies of right now? So I think that it can't be downplayed. It's maybe not my favorite Tyler album ever, but in the landscape of this year, it'd be silly not to talk about such an incredible body of work. Saint Chroma, Like Him. These are songs that caught in the mainstream on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's what's been really, really wild to me too. Darling I, of course, with Tizo is amazing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Facts.
My number 6 is Lungu Boy by Ashake.
Yeah.
Ashake is just an electric artist, bro.
Facts.
And it's undeniable his impact already, just seeing who's on this project. Central C, Travis Scott, Wizkid, all jumping at the chance to like be a part of it. You feel me? And I think that song, is probably one of my favorite songs of the year. Definitely a top 3 favorite song of the year, bro. Who I don't even know who produced that, but we need a whole album of Ashake just like electronic dance music or whatever the fuck that is, because that song is electric. I feel like Ashake really leveled up with this project. I know I already mentioned it, but MMS with Wizkid.
Yeah.
The one.
That is an insane song too. And he's got real slaps in this project. My heart.
Shaka is trying to find who am I going to find the right type of energy with, and we can make a banger that's going to go insane. Mm-hmm. I like the Travis and Playboy comparison though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's out of here in 2025, but had to put this project on my list for sure.
At number 5, I have Pinball by Mike.
Yeah.
My favorite kinds of hip hop are like introspective, like lyric heavy hip hop, and just like super player shit that like really like kicks. And he somehow like merged them perfectly and met in the middle on this album that made a project that's like equal parts fun and like substance. You know what I mean? And it feels so fly too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like songs like Skur is like
Special.
No, nothing makes me feel like that song makes me feel. You know what I mean? Like if I need like a confidence boost, if I'm about to step out the car, that's like my pull-up song. You know what I mean? Like right before I hop out and like interact with people, like I'm trying to hear that, you know? But Tony Seltzer also, didn't mention him. It's Mike and Tony Seltzer.
Facts.
And he is just as important as Mike across this project because the production is incredibly bouncy, incredibly fun, and incredibly player. And it made for what is probably my most listened to hip hop album of the year, and probably will be moving forward. It's what, 30 minutes?
It's so easy.
It's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes, 11 songs, and there's no misses. This is an incredible project from Mike.
At number 5, I have Gap Year by Layla, the most surprising album of the year. I think this is a budding superstar. And obviously she's very, very young in her career, but I think the highs on this album are as high as any other R&B moments in the year. I mean, I'd be stupid not to address the intro where she goes straight a cappella and just shows y'all know I could really, really sing, and bodies that, and then goes into amazing production and just beautiful songs that are like an Are You Down or Want To. I think that Layla was really honest on this for being like a high schooler. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like this is very obviously like enough. The production on this.
Yeah.
Everything mixed, mastered, recorded, produced by her.
Yeah.
That's special.
Crazy.
And that's something that not even some of our favorites can even think about doing. Mm-hmm. So that's something that you can't gloss over in this. She's a do-it-all superstar.
My number 5 is Born in the Wild by Tems.
Yeah.
Again, I think you guys already covered a lot of the bases when it comes to Tems. And surprisingly, the J. Cole song Free Fall is probably one of my favorite songs.
It's special.
It's a special song, a special record. But I do like the lows of the Tems project too. Like I feel like the songs that I skipped over, like even, okay, so like a song like T-Unit, for example, where she's rapping and it feels like a little bit more just like more fun, more playful. I looked at that again and I was like, bro, Tems is so versatile. You know what I mean? And then she goes into a cut like Boy Oh Boy.
Oh my God, bro.
Where she sounds like and you don't even like Sade, but I feel like she kind of sounds like her on songs like that. You know what I mean?
I see the influence 100%. She got a little bit more of a powerful voice, but it's Sade, it's Adele. She does ballads better than anyone right now, damn near.
Exactly. And to be doing rapping, ballads, and then make mainstream hits, and then make like a Love Me JJ. Like it just like, I don't know. I almost wish I put it higher now, but I just feel like this album is something special and it's going to age extremely well.
At number 4, I have Two Star and The Dream Police by McGee. To me, this is, I don't think anyone innovated more in music in 2024 than McGee, to be honest. I think he has the most unique style of guitar playing that I've heard anyone come out with probably since Steve Lacy, at least in popular music, like outside of just the guitar world. It's something I've never heard before and a sound that I didn't even know the instrument could make. And the project itself is a feeling that is unlike anything that came out this year or anything that's ever really come out. To be honest, it's such a specific vibe and the songwriting is incredible. Like these stories are pulling on emotions that I like forgot I had type shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some of the songs on here, How Many Miles, Are You Looking Up, Candy, I Want, Riley and I. These are just like incredibly, incredibly emotional songs that's kind of doing something like I feel like Bon Iver was doing like 5 years ago, filling that like indie, just like indie kind of like sad emotional world. You know what I mean? But a lot of it is also like hopeful at the same time. Yeah. I think he's one of the most exciting things happening in music. Extremely mysterious, extremely cool. And yeah, just easily one of the best projects of the year.
My number 4 album of the year is Pinball by Mike and Tony Seltzer. You said a lot of what needed to be said about this project. Easily one of the most fun rap projects of the year. Mike and Tony are competing for MVP on every single track.
Yeah.
I love hearing this for the first time and being blown away hearing Mike take his sound to the next level.
Yeah.
Because again, I think that we always talk about the fact that I thought that Mike was a 35-year-old, like old dude.
Yeah.
Nah, he's 25. He's with the shits. He likes to have fun. He likes to be high energy on stuff. And I think that you see the influence because Earl Sweatshirt is not Earl Sweatshirt today without Mike. El Cousteau, Mavi, so many young dudes who really, really rap and are really respected in this pay a lot of their knowledge to the game and how they really move in this shit to Mike. Skur, R&B, 2024 with Nyante, reminiscing with Jay Critch. He's able to get young niggas, old niggas. Tony Seltzer's been around forever, and he's able to just kind of blend a sound that I think anyone of all ages is going to love, but it feels super modern for Mike, which I think is really, really necessary for him continuing to build his fan base and build his fame up. Yeah, great project.
My number 4 is Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii.
Yeah.
Nice.
Simply because of Denial as a River. Because I watched her NPR Tiny Desk the other day, and I listened to the whole thing, and then I listened to the album again, and I was like, this is an amazing body of work. But Denial as a River is an amazing, honest song. And the breath control thing she does in it is so fire to me.
Yeah.
It's so fire. And then we saw her live too. Where do we see? At Flognaw.
Yeah.
And she performed that shit, and I was like, bro, nobody's doing stuff like this. Nobody's doing music that is so complete, theatrical, and good. You feel me?
She's built different.
She's built different. And then obviously there's other songs, you know, Nissan Altima, GTFO, like those are songs that slide. You know, obviously she's got other songs that I think are a little bit more palatable to my taste, but I think I'm kind of entranced with Doechii because of her performative side. And I think that's something we're missing in music nowadays. Like, yeah, great body of work, whatever, but I want to feel it. I want to see it.
Facts,
You feel me? Like, I want to be brought into the world. She's probably the only developing artist that I know that's doing it on that level, in my opinion.
Facts. No,
In
the
my
world
opinion.
that she's built and the way that she's just been able to transfer it across so many different mediums it's insane.
Yeah, we'll keep the conversation going because at number 3, I have Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii. I echo everything that you said. And to me, this is the most impressive introduction that we've seen in the decade and maybe longer. You know, I know she has projects out, a couple EPs, some singles, but this truly felt like her first offering. You know what I mean? Like she had the eyes, she had the TDE sign, and she like really introduced herself, I think, to the world with this album. And this little run that she's on right now, you know, like 4 or 5 months after this album is dropped, doing TV performances, Flognaw, being on albums like Tyler, the Creator, you know what I mean? The NPR was incredible. She's really putting everyone on notice that she is the future of this rap shit. And it's in good hands. You know what I mean? And for her to be attached to TD and attached to Kendrick, honestly, just makes everything make so much sense. And I think it's such a perfect fit for her because it really seems like it's time for her to kind of rise up and take that spot. I think it's her spot to take. And yeah, in a year that I think the women really stood out in hip hop across the board, I think she was, this album specifically was the crown jewel of that for me, you know. Can't say enough good things about Doechii, one of the most talented artists out.
Big dough.
Big dough.
And number 3, I have GNX by Kendrick Lamar.
Hey.
The greatest rapper of all time dropped new music, so I think that he definitely has to be talked about when we're doing albums of the year.
Yep.
He shined a light on the West Coast in the most authentic way possible, specifically shined a light on the LA rap community that I think was so necessary because these dudes have been making music that was anthemic in COVID times and in the time when people weren't really outside.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the sound got underappreciated, but now that everyone's back outside, things are coming back to normalcy. This music is going to get appreciated again. And I think that he's going to breathe new life into all of these artists and really start to spark more creativity out here. Stuff like Dodger Blue is like the more chill, laid back vibe that I think really cemented this as a top project for me. There's deep cuts like Reincarnated. Bro.
Yeah.
Like that's special.
Yeah.
Not many people could do that because when you're going to take a risk like that, sampling Tupac so directly and even trying to sound like him, you have to come correct. Very few rappers could really do that and deliver the same energy. Gloria, of course, is amazing storytelling. Him just telling you that he's better than you at whatever story you wanted to tell.
Yeah.
Talking about his pen, making it seem like it's a woman. That's incredible. My favorite, Use Your Heart. The Use Your Heart sample on The Heart Part 6 is great.
Yeah.
Whacked Out Murals is the best intro of the year, maybe.
Yeah.
That's not true, but one of the best intros of the year. GNX was a great mixtape album. I don't know from Kendrick Lamar, but I'm excited to see what he has upcoming, and I want to see this performed on the Super Bowl stage.
So badly. And on the tour.
Yeah, he's going to be wilding on that Super Bowl stage with some of these songs.
Damn, I guess we continue the conversation because my number 3 is GNX by Kendrick Lamar.
Fire.
But I guess we could talk more about just like the features and how he's been putting people from LA on. Like, to be honest, bro, I don't even know some of these names, bro.
Yeah, bro. Hey Now, Dodie 6. That shit is different, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know Dodie 6 before that.
Didn't know Dodie 6, didn't know Peso. I really like Peso now.
Yeah.
I really like his voice.
Tell him Peso did it.
I'm not really sure what it is about it, but I've been diving a little bit into his music. I'm like, Peso's definitely dope. But I don't know. I think like this has brought me a little bit more of an appreciation for the LA sound. Cause it's not like I don't like it, right? But it's more like I do feel like whenever I hear like a song that breaks out into the mainstream with this sound, it is a little bit more comedic. It is a little bit more like lighthearted. But I guess that's just more the style of the area. Cause like dudes really be rapping. Like even AZ Chike.
Yep.
Like his verse was incredible and he's standing next to Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then obviously I like the cuts without people. Well, I guess Lefty Gunplay is on TV Off, but like he really only has an N. You know what I mean? But TV Off, Whacked Out Murals, that's not LA sound. But what's the other song that's the LA sound?
Squabble Up.
Yes, okay, Squabble Up. Like that's an incredible song too, and it's more of like a dance record.
Yeah, that shit is.
It's more.
It really is a dance record.
It's like
fire.
like G Funk, like something like I don't know. It's different. Yeah, great project. I love how people were trying to say it was like just a mixtape or whatever. He's gonna come out with more music. No, bro. Regardless of whether he comes out with more music or not, Kendrick really did something with this project.
Facts.
And yes, it is a little bit left of center to what he usually does, but it makes it way more fire because he's taking risks and he's in a new era of his career. I think the whole album is great.
At number 2, I have Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. One of my favorite albums of the year, obviously from one of my favorite artists. I think it's Tyler's most honest album, and it continues to surprise me every time I go back. Like there's new stuff to grab onto. It's layered, and I really, really love the concepts across this album. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think Tyler is like a perfect picture of like flawless execution. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Everything he does is so dialed in the same way that it is with like a Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? From timing to messaging to aesthetic, you can't really poke holes in what he does. You know, I do think there are some songs that stand out and stand tall in his discography on this, like Take Your Mask Off, like I Hope You Find Your Way Home.
Yeah.
I think the production is on the same level that it's been at since 2017 with Tyler, maybe before that. And that is the highest of compliments. You know what I mean? Because that is literally the very top of the barrel. And I think I really love hearing him talk about real shit and maturing, kind of like you touched on when you were talking about it. Like we always talk about how to age gracefully and mature in a tasteful way in hip hop. Because it can kind of be hard when sometimes you come up off some flagrant shit. You know what I mean? Exactly. And he is doing it in his own way. And like you said, probably the end of an era. This kind of sounds like Call Me If You Get Lost Part 2, but maybe executed a little bit better. I'm not sure, it's close. But regardless, I just can't wait to see what he does next, where he goes, where he takes his sound and his creativity. Because he's truly one of the best artists of our generation across the board.
My number 2 album of the year is Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii. This is easily the best live performance album of the year, and I think this is the best exhibition of pure rapping in 2024. I want to really, really touch on the live aspect of this because I think from her solo tour to the Flog Gnaw appearances to Fallon or SNL or whatever she did the other night to her Tiny Desk, every time Doechii's been seen in the public eye, it has been so carefully curated and just like everything has been intentional. The braids, the look, the way that she's dressed, and like she seems so ready to embrace this superstardom. Mm-hmm. It seems like she's really been waiting for this moment her entire life, and she hasn't been like trained for it. It's just like she's really just been praying for it. and just waiting for this moment because I do have a story to tell that really, really matters. And there's so much substance to everything she's doing. When you go into the album, obviously, it starts off very, very aggressive and true to like kind of like 90s, early 2000s hip hop, boom bap type shit, incredible production, but she's just aggressive. Delivery on 10,000 Bullfrog really, really stands out for that for me. And then she gets into this storytelling, getting into a little bit of is it the Nile is a river where she's going into the whole like 2018 everything.
Yeah.
That song, of course, is incredible. My personal favorite is probably Prophet. When she's just talking like, yo, I want to get out this shit. I've been through so much, I've seen so much, and I've wanted to get out through music.
Yeah.
I want to make this happen. And I have, and no one's going to take this from me. No one's going to downplay. She's hungry as fuck. If you haven't been hip to Doechii and the Nissan Altima, well, we can't not talk about that song.
Yeah.
That Tiny Desk performance of that gives me chills.
Yeah.
Because it's really just so perfection, on point. Everyone is locked in. But yeah, if you didn't know about Doechii, I think you definitely do after this year, and she deserves everything that's coming to her, and really, really is a role model for a lot of young people in this shit.
My number 2 is We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin. Obviously, one of the biggest moments of the year, probably the biggest moment, definitely the biggest moment in hip hop, one of the biggest moments in pop culture. And obviously, like that is going to take a lot of the shine. But you look at that project, it's one of Future's best projects. Cinderella, Magic Don Juan, Fried, Everyday Hustle, GTA. I mean, the dude is 40, bro.
Yeah.
The dude is 40 years old, and for almost, it's like been like 15 years?
He's really brawn. He's really
been putting up crazy numbers. I don't think there's much more to say, bro. This is a great album. Obviously, hit off a historic moment in hip hop, and he's still just casually like moving about his career like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Just took the Rolling Loud stage the other day. I'm pretty sure they set him on fire.
Yeah,
like
that shit was fire. That was insane.
He's doing rock star shit at. I won't even say the age anymore. Just a ripe age. You know what I mean? Just like a mature age. I'm super impressed, and like I admire like everything he's been able to build up into this point, and I think this deserves top 3 albums of the year for sure.
All right, and it's that time. We all have one left, and I think I know what everyone's is.
Yeah.
And I am so mad at you. I'm so mad at you.
Nah, he can get it off.
At number 1, I have GNX by Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick really gave us the album that we all wanted from him. After Mr. Morale, people were like, "Oh, too heavy, too much therapy, too much talky talk." You know what I mean?
Too much talky talk.
And I think this is kind of what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And like, let's just talk about it what it is. It has some of the best Kendrick Lamar songs in every like genre of Kendrick Lamar song. You know, if we're talking about Kendrick Lamar hits, TV Off and Squabble Up play with the best of them. You know what I mean? To be honest, play with the best of them. If we're talking about storytelling, Reincarnated, Gloria, these are like top of his discography songs. And I think this project honestly holds a candle to the rest of the discography, which is the most impressive in rap history to me, excluding Kanye West. You know what I mean? So like, you know, I just had to take a step back and look at it and look at like what this really is and how much replay value these songs have and what it meant for LA. And also just like an explanation point on like already an MVP year. You know what I mean? Like this just felt like the only real option for me. It's a little bit new still, so it's kind of hard to tell, but you listen to these songs and you know that the replay value is solid. You know this is not going anywhere in the next years. You know what I mean? GNX to me, best album that came out this year.
My number 1 album of the year is The Year I Turned 21 by Ira Star. Ira Star is the next Rihanna. Ira Star stepped into newfound superstardom. Ira Star delivered the most replayable album of 2024 to me personally. I think that if you have any questions about this body of work, if you want to know what Ira Star's vibe is, listen to the tracks 1 through 3. That first 3-song run, it's Birds Sing of Money, Commas, and Goodbye Warm Up. it's quintessential Afrobeat R&B put together in the best way possible. It's high energy, but also a song like Commas. It just makes you feel good. It's uplifting. It's something that gets stuck in your head. The production on a song like Last Heartbreak Song is so beautiful. And Damn Near Will Bring a Tear in My Eye. The features are so beautifully curated. And then even the ending message of her talking about her family, talking about her father, the messaging of like, you're working so hard and you're striving for all of this, but make sure you know why you're doing it. Make sure there's a purpose behind everything. It's something that I think a lot of people turning into their 20s really need to understand, because this is when shit gets real, and something that we're still even experiencing a lot, even at 24. So Ira is going to be around for a very, very long time. It's cool that we were even able to talk about her all those years ago as like our best new artist when she had 19 and Dangerous.
Yeah.
She's really, really maturing into a superstar and one of my favorite artists out right now.
God, give me strength to deliver this message to the people.
This fucking cornball.
My number one album of 2024 is Last Lap by Rod Wave.
He did it.
He did it.
When this dude dropped Hard on Ice in whatever time, I think this was like 2018, maybe earlier, maybe later. Don't really remember. Heard the song, liked it. I was like, talented. I later heard Letter to Houston or Letter from Houston. And I was like, wow, this is really something special. Then he delivered Soulfly, the project, and I listened. And I was like, nah, this guy's got it. Rod Wave, since then, has consistently delivered projects that are monumental, not just to me, but to an entire population. And I used to be confused, you know? I used to be like, man, everyone on the internet is hating. Like, they don't get it. Like, why don't they get it? But I realize it now. He's a pop star. We're moving into a world that is so niche that people can't even recognize greatness. You feel me? People live in their own worlds. And Rod Wave's world is very big. It's huge.
It's ginormous.
But Rod Wave is a pop star. He's a superstar. And there's no denying it now. Mm-hmm. You can't see the videos from arena tours of him falling off the stage and people crying and lifting their phones up. You can't see the numbers that he's doing on Spotify. You can't see the beautiful music videos that he's been shooting. And you can't say that that person not a pop star. And to me, Last Lap is his first real step into that pop stardom. Songs like Turtle Race, 25, I Ran. Bro, I Ran. Beautiful song, bro.
No, you didn't, Rod.
Jersey Numbers, which is honestly a really sad song about how there's nothing left for him back where he's from besides prison time or maybe death. But what a beautiful way to articulate it, you know what I mean? It's crazy. And he starts diving into songs like Passport Junkie, which is about like kind of just like this new phase he's in where he's like, man, these girls too good for Miami now. I gotta kind of fly them out the country. Like, I'm getting money now. Like, bro, that's a relatable topic. You feel me? Like, that is like,
you relate
man,
to that one?
I don't relate to that. I relate to the fact that like as you grow older and as you mature, like you low-key feel the need to really provide for people. You feel me? You feel the need that like maybe what I'm doing isn't good enough. And I feel like Rod Wave always feels that pain. I feel like he's always burdened by his success almost, but it's like, I gotta do this for my people, my family. I gotta show out for my brothers, even if that includes flying multiple girls to Turks. You feel me?
I do this for my brothers.
And I think Falling Fast in Love is one of my favorite songs, where it's just a very honest declaration of just, man, you just can't fall in love too fast, man. It's dangerous out here. Girls can really break your heart. So I don't know, man. I know that I didn't even scratch the surface. The song "Fuck Fame" with Lil Yachty and Baby, one of the best Baby verses of the year, bro. And Rod Wave delivered it. Only Rod Wave could get it out of him. You feel me? So I don't know. I know in my heart that Last Lap was my favorite album of the year. It's my number one.
Good.
And I just know that he's going to deliver an incredible 2025. And I can't wait to see it, bro. I can't wait to see this guy step into pop stardom, bro. I can't wait until he does a stadium tour, bro. I cannot wait to see it, because he's delivering a message that the people really need right now. and I'm grateful to be a part of it. So
Good Broadway, I saw. And
that was
our best.
Glad you got to say it.
That was our best albums of 2024. Woo!
Yeah. Was there anything not mentioned that you didn't quite have room for, but you wanted to call out?
no.
I think I talked. I mean, like there was some obviously great music. I can't think of anything off the top though. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, Dark Times by Vince Staples.
Oh yeah, that and Blue Lips are both really good albums.
Yeah, I sat with Dark Times for a long time and just tried to make it work on my list, but I had a lot of hip hop. I wanted to keep the list diverse genre wise, you know what I mean? And it came down to the Boldy album or the Vince album for me, and the Boldy was a little better.
Moroyo by Wizkid. I just haven't lived with it enough, but I feel like that's a really good project. I almost put Chromacopia higher.
It's a great album.
It was hard not to.
Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. I wanted to throw in there, but I just didn't have room.
Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter. It was really, really tough for me.
All right, wrap us up. Get us out of here.
Thank y'all for watching, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yep.
What was your favorite album of 2024? Comment down below. Catch y'all next one, man. Peace.